Hey guys, how are you? So I wanted to talk about a very big fumble that I did recently. So long story short, I've been working, or I was working towards becoming a software engineer. We already know this, I've said this multiple times. It is the career path that I really wanted. I felt like it was the path that made the most sense, especially after all the confusion that I felt after I graduated college. If you haven't watched my college diaries video, like my experience in college, watch that. That'll give you more context about what I'm talking about. But after graduating college, I was very in distress, literally, because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I graduated in the pandemic, and there was just a lot of different questions and things that I genuinely felt like I just didn't have the answer for. So I decided to embark on the journey of becoming a software engineer. Now, that journey was a self-taught journey. That journey was me, Google, Stack Overflow, now you know ChatGPT. If you're in the tech space, you know what all these things are. If you don't know, I could make a video on them if you'd like. But yeah, I started to really learn how to code. Where I am currently in my coding journey is almost non-existent. The reason for that is because I genuinely found something else that I kind of wanted to do. You know, I have a lot of privilege in this conversation. I have a husband who works and takes care of me. I don't have to worry about where my food is gonna come from, child. I don't have to worry about where my clothes are gonna come from. I don't have to worry about where my home is gonna be at. You know what I mean? Like I was able to really sink my teeth into coding because I had the privilege of not having to work full time. Now, with that being said, I stopped learning, which is ridiculous because when you really sit and think about it, I fumbled in that alone. Just going through the journey of being a self-taught engineer and not continuously learning, like it's actually the worst thing that you could possibly do, because now to try to get yourself back to where you felt like you were, into understanding and to knowing the concepts that you learned almost slip away from you. And I kind of just stopped learning. And I wouldn't say I stopped in the way where I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna code again. It was just one of those things where I kept telling myself, okay, well, this is happening, I'll pick it up later. Oh, this is happening, I'll pick it up later. Oh, this is happening. It just was getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And recently I've been back on the job market, trying to find another job that I would like to do. And because the tech space was kind of going through, I think still technically going through a very large transition with layoffs and things of that nature, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go back in the workforce and try to just find, maybe hopefully, fingers crossed, like a work from home job in the meantime as I study and learn these skills, and also, you know, do content and things of that nature. And that did not work out for me simply because I literally didn't pick it up at all. And I literally had an opportunity, I'll probably put it on the screen. I literally had an opportunity emailed to me about becoming a software engineer, and I can't embark on it because realistically, I'm not ready in the least bit. If I didn't think I was ready before when I was actively learning, I'm definitely not ready after not spending like 3 to 6 months not coding at all. So that's how I fumbled. And I just feel like that whole experience really taught me that you really have to want it. Like you have to want to do the thing. I don't think I don't want to be a software engineer. I still very much want to be a software engineer. I genuinely believe that coding is one of the things, like embarking on the journey of learning how to code and embarking on the journey of learning this skill set was one of the most gratifying things I could have ever done. But I also feel like I was just switching gears and kept putting it off because it was more difficult than creating content, then maybe looking for a job, then doing other things in my life, that it was very hard for me to get back into the groove of just doing the thing that I know I should be doing. Coding is also it's a lot of information. Like it's not just one thing, it's so many things piled on top of one another. So it's not like you could just pick it up and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do this thing. It's like, no, you have to know how to do the thing and knowing how to speak towards that thing. And that is the reality of my situation in regards to how I fumbled. I think the best thing that I could have done was continuously learn, of course, and obviously not be afraid of the harder thing. Like in the journey of not coding, in the last 3 to 6 months where I haven't coded, I've been doing other things like content, like home place. We are obviously in my living room. You guys will see the full living room tour soon here. But concentrating on things that I just wanted to do a little bit more really fumbled the thing that I also wanted to do. Because I want to do a lot of things, as I've said before. And I think that I wasn't taking it serious enough. You know what I mean? Like, I knew there was going to be a time where the tech industry is going to turn around. And I kept telling myself, well, when that happens, I will be learning the entire time, so I'll be ready. Guess what? It's happening and I'm not ready and I fumbled. And that feeling can easily be immersed in failure and disappointment and all those things, or you can just learn from it. And I think the lesson that I'm currently learning from it is being consistent is more worth it in the end. It's so much more worth it. If you lack that little consistency, or even if you do it on a lesser scale, where you're not doing it maybe for 5 hours a day, you do it for an hour a day, it's better to continuously put in effort than to not put effort in at all. That's the biggest lesson that I think I've learned. Outside of that, I just feel like if anybody else has ever also have gone through something where they were learning something or they were trying to do something and they ended up, switching gears and pivoting or finding other things that they were more interested in and slacking on the other things, don't be afraid to pick it back up and do the best that you can with what you can do currently. Because my mind was like, oh, well, I fumbled this opportunity. I'm probably, out of the running. But realistically, there is no reason why I can't go in front of my computer and decide to start a project today. Like right now, there's literally no reason why I can't do that. And I think that taking my time and starting small and being able to just be a student again and again and again and being forever teachable in regards to not only my goals, but the things that I want to do in life is how I'm gonna be able to conquer the feeling of I fumbled the bag, you know what I mean? Outside of that, I genuinely just feel like just because something doesn't go your way or just because something doesn't go the way that you thought it was supposed to go does not mean that you're on the wrong path or you're doing something wrong. It literally just means that you have to probably go in a different direction to get to the end goal. And I literally feel like that's where I'm at currently. I can build a website from scratch currently, like my skill set, right? But am I primed or am I really ready to maybe be in the job market to help bring something to production? You know what I mean? Can I pass the interview portion? Those questions are the verdict is out on that. I think that depending on the company or the question, of course, but at the end of the day, if you're not actively learning this thing, or if you're not actively seeking to understand how to get better at this thing, or how to have a more robust, broad understanding of this thing, and to have more intricate understandings of it as well, so to have multiple layers of understanding about the same thing, it's probably not gonna happen. So I just wanted to share that. I wanted to share that at the end of the day, I'm human like anybody else. People are just going through things. People are human. People go through the experiences of making various decisions that they probably didn't even know could lead them to different things. And I think that is hard to share because it looks like a failure. You look like a failure maybe in public, but realistically, I feel like if you can learn a lesson from any failure, any decision, anything that you do, it's always a win. It's always a W. So what are you gonna do now? That's the next question that I'm asking myself. Like, okay, your GitHub looks crazy. You haven't coded in a couple months. You feel like you didn't do the right thing. And maybe you didn't do the right thing, but what are you gonna do about it now? All you have is right now. So I think the steps that I'm gonna be taking is starting small like anything else. Like everything else I try to tackle in my life, I try to start small and then go deeper and further in that subject and in that process, because I can be a bit extreme. Like I feel like I have to just turn on a light switch and just grind it out and just go from 0 to 100 and just be like, you know what? I have to wake up at 5 a.m. I have to do this. I have to do that. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing it at all. It's like, no. Wake up at 9, wake up at 10, but be productive. When you do get in front of your computer, do something more productive instead of just slacking or scrolling on Instagram or doing just things that really aren't gonna be beneficial to your goal. And that's what it is right now. That's how I feel about my journey right now. I think that if I had any advice to any other self-taught engineers, one, don't be like me. Consistently learn and really just give yourself time and grace. You're gonna understand it. You just have to find other ways of understanding the concepts. And secondly, I think my biggest second piece of advice is just because the tech industry is going through a transition where there's layoffs and things of that are happening currently does not mean that your turn will not come. There are opportunities out there. Do not lie to yourself into believing that you do not have opportunities that you can seize in this day and age. Regardless if it's tech or content or your home life or anything, there are opportunities out there to create and do the thing that you want to do. So don't lie to yourself into thinking like, well, there's just no opportunities. Oh, I'm not this. I have imposter syndrome. All of those things are part of it. Like you're gonna feel like you don't belong. You have imposter syndrome, but it doesn't mean that you're incapable, and it doesn't mean that you can't get get an opportunity that opens a door for you to actually do the thing. And for me, I got the opportunity. I got the email. That was like, hey, we're actually interested in this, da, da, da. And here I am looking like boo-boo the fool because what did I do? I fumbled. Take your time, continue to learn. Don't be like me, learn from my mistakes. And if anything, if you guys want to know any more about my software engineering journey, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Vivianieprice on all socials, and I will catch you guys next week for the next video. Bye.